Hello, lovelies. Today is Tuesday, February the 21st, 2023. And I woke up this morning with an intuition to make this video. So I am. Hey, so what today's video is about is the first 20-day process. And today we are on day 19 of the first 20-day process. Blue Storm. And Blue Storm in its first 20-day process is number 6, rhythmic, getting into the rhythm of our emotional story. Pluto is the planet, and Pluto being in Capricorn at the moment, in the last degrees of it before it goes into Aquarius, briefly on the 23rd of March, and eventually fully on December 2024. So we're wrapping up a cycle of Earth, the patriarchy, and going into the new age of Aquarius. So it's a powerful time. This calendar was made for this time because this is the big transition time. So it's a great tool that we can use. And I suggest that you get one if you haven't got one already, and that you get one in this format, because this format is for people who are actually wanting to work on a transformative level. So releasing the past so we can be more present, and then we can create a different future for ourselves as a human being, and then of course for all human beings, rippling out. We use the 100 monkey theory, which is once it gets to a certain tipping point, so we get more people who are conscious and who are healing and doing the transformation with that awareness, than people who are not. At the moment, most people are not, and therefore we're in a very difficult part of the cycle. Most people aren't consciously aware of their own patterns and their own codes. And this is the key for people to become free. Focus on the self. So this particular cycle began here on the 3rd of February, and it's in Aquarius by its very nature. In terms of the moon, it was in an out of bounds moon in Cancer. And so that's going to influence the whole 260-day cycle. So how can we become emotionally free and solution focused? So becoming a mature individual. And when I say becoming emotionally free, I don't mean free of emotions. In fact, the opposite of that. I mean learning how our emotional story affects us and how our triggers affect us. And then resetting our emotional sat-nav so that we feel we can express our emotions in a healthy way, we can feel them. And we don't create drama because of that. Okay, so we begin this process, and really, again, there's lots of different numbers involved with this calendar. But this is a key formula, okay? So the Mayan tribes, there are 5 Mayan tribes because there are 20 Mayan signs. And here they are on the calendar, the 20 Mayan signs. And each one of these signs holds an energetic template, and then it has 13 different variations of that template. And so there are 260 human being stories in all. And once you start connecting to other people on this deeper level, and so for me, I've been working with people with this framework now. I'm in my 12th year. And so I have no doubt that people who I am working with have very similar patterns to me, very similar stories. And so this is the wonder that when we work together as a group or one-to-one, we can help each other to see our story, and we can give a perspective from different places. So again, there's no linear perspective on this, because this is about the spiral. It's about the return to the sacred feminine, coming in our intuitive side and paying attention to that. And again, I watched something on a series a couple of days ago, which was very interesting. It was about a police officer who had used a medium in his research to try and locate somebody because he was open to that. And he was being ridiculed because of that. And of course, when he went into court to give evidence, the opposing counsel was trying to destroy his credibility by saying that he'd used a medium. And so he said, well, you've just asked me to swear on the Bible. I swear by Almighty God to tell the truth, the whole truth. And so is that not the supernatural? So it's starting to see all these frameworks, in different ways. And rather than one being more important than another, or one being the truth or how we should live, there's lots of different perspectives. There's lots of different frameworks, and each have their own place. And if we go back to the Renaissance time, when there was this huge split between so-called science and faith, in order to create something that was a power dynamic that wasn't coming from the highest light, then we can see the pattern and how it's still repeating now, and how the same frameworks are repeating now. And of course they will do, because unless individuals become consciously aware and start to transmute these, then we're stuck in that whole paradigm on many levels. And this is starting to come off now. So this, again, you can get this exact one on my website, and it's free. And I'll list a link under the video where you can get one. Or you can use any other calendar that has this same format. So it has the Akashic record squares on it, or portals, gap days, as they're called by some people. And at the bottom, it has the tones. And then you will set sail on your own journey. And if you want to make your own calendar, as I did, that will take you on another journey. And so all of this is a transmutation and alignment with a different way, a different focus. So 20 mind signs. And so it runs down to the bottom when you use it. And there we are today. And then you go back to the top, and then you go on to the next column. And so there are 13 columns until completion. And so again, using the same formula, when we start in column 1, we're looking at magnetic. What is our magnetic attraction? Where are we on our path? Because remember, we're a holograph. And so we see the world reflected back to us as our holograph belief system works, our pattern, our belief system. And that isn't fixed. We can change that. We can change that using emotional freedom technique very powerfully and very dynamically. And at this time, the more that we do this work, the more we can align with the universe, because this is all about change now. We're changing the human being from the inside out. And as we change, the world will change. And that is the formula, putting the self as the divine incarnate, creating from that space. So we have to clear off a lot of stuff that isn't clear, that is corrupted, and that is old paradigm, old computer programming, if you like, to use that model. So we have 5 tribes, and the first tribe begins the first 52-day process. This is Red Dragon. And in Red Dragon, we have White World Bridger, Blue Monkey, Yellow Warrior. And this pattern really is about Red Dragon, what the Great Mother is bringing us to align with the new patterns and cycles, and esoteric wisdom, Neptune. When we're still in the old program, we're running delusion and illusion because we want to survive. So the first 20 days is showing us all our survival issues and how much we're aligning with the Great Mother. So how much esoteric wisdom do we hold? How much old story? And during this 20 days, we go down to Yellow Sun, which is number 7 by the time we complete. It's the 20th Mayan sign. Sorry, just had to have a pause there. I'm burning incense and it's catching the back of my throat. Okay, so as you can see, we go from a portal to a portal. These are Akashic record days, and on these days, we will be experiencing in our holographic movie things from our past, from our ancestors' past. So the first 52-day process is Red Dragon, and it's the awakening process. So we have the next 52-day process is then in the White Castle for refinement. So the formula is awakening, refinement, transformation, manifestation, and the heart connection. The heart connection, the number 5, is only available in the bigger picture pattern. These are the ones that we use as human beings, and this is the collective. Okay, so in the next 52-day process, we have Red Skywalker here. And Red Skywalker then looks at refining what we've experienced in the first 52 days so we can transform it into an awareness of what the truth is, as in the objective truth rather than a subjective truth, which is tricky. But often our feelings show us more and more about that. As we get clearer, we start to experience how we know something is in alignment with truth. And even though it may be difficult to do, even though we may feel scared of speaking it, then we still get to a point where we have to do that and be authentic. Because we know if we don't, it's going to go down a whole messy, chaotic loop. And the more that we do this, the more that we know this. Because over time, we become wiser, hopefully. We then go into the blue, and we have Red Serpent, 52-day process, which is the 5th Mayan sign. And so this energy is about transforming what has happened in these two. And this energy is about the bloodline and the blood tribe. I'll come back to these tribes in a moment. And yellow is Red Earth, the 17th Mayan sign, the manifestation. And then we have Red Moon in the Green Castle, which is about being authentic and being the beacon of light. And so in the first 5 days, we have red dragon, white wind, blue night, yellow seed, red serpent. And then we go to the next member of the red dragon tribe. So we've got a pattern of 5, and 5 is overtone. So the first 4 days of any cycle, you're getting magnetic, lunar, electric, and self-existing. You're going through a process of 4, which creates a framework. By the time you get to the 5th day, you're doing a magical process called squaring the circle. So you're seeing what's happened in these first 4 days, and then you're going to master that process. And the more that you do this process, the more that you follow this calendar, the more you will become aware of this. If you're doing your healing and doing your clearing, you will be having a very dynamic process. So we initiate with red dragon. And then we go to the refinement of red dragon on the 6th day, which is white world bridger. So it's part of that tribe. And it's the refinement process. And then we go to blue monkey, which is a transformation of these previous 2. So by the time we get here, it's day 11. And it's following that same formula, red, white, blue, yellow. But they have different templates because they're different Mayan signs. And then by the time we get down here, which is yellow warrior, then we see the manifestation of where we are on our heart path as a warrior of the heart. And a warrior of the heart is the warrior who is about working within, surrendering to a greater wisdom, and is on the heart path, the beauty path, creating love and beauty in life within in order to experience it without. So that formula, that tribe, so we've got Neptune with red dragon. We have Mars with white world bridger. We have Venus with blue monkey. And with yellow warrior, we have Saturn. Okay, so using these, if you are one of these tribe templates, then this is especially important for you to work with on a conscious level when you're ready to. And where these planets are at the time that you're doing this work, so the transits that are happening now, you can work with those because that's the universal pattern coming in. And where they are in your chart will show you your map in order to navigate. And the more that you do this, the more it will blow your mind, because this is literally out of this world and gives us a template to follow every day, a process to follow every day when the whole world is going mad and we don't know what's happening and we're going through a huge transformation process. It can really help us to stay focused and stay centered and surrender to what's happening, because we're in a huge process right now. Okay, so the next tribe that I'm going to talk about is red serpents, because that's the 5th day. And again, so going back to the blue, so this is a very important one, and the planets for this one are the asteroid belt, bringing in new consciousness. And as you can see where it is, it has 10 portal days of Akashic record by the time we get to this place. So it's a very dynamic energy. It's about the bloodline. It's about the Kundalini. It's about relationship. It's how we've been related to and how we relate to others because of that, what we've learned, our belief systems, our chi, our energy, and what we can feel through our nervous system. It's the reptilian brain on one hand as well, again, survival, and how we master that in the first 20 days. And so that tribe is red serpent, white dog, blue eagle, and yellow sun. And again, if you start to plot your family constellation, your friend constellation, anybody who's in your circle, you will have a huge awakening and awareness as to what's going on and why and when, and all of those fascinating questions. And it will help you work with conscious awareness. And believe me, the depth that this goes to is phenomenal. And it takes time. You're not going to have this. You're going instantaneously. We've got Venus in Aries at the moment, so it's like quick fix for one perspective of it. Any of this work, this deep work, takes time. It's a process, and it involves healing and being patient to see how the cycles unfold. Okay, so again, if we go to this one, so we have red serpent, and then the next one down, the next white one is white dog. And then the next one down, blue eagle. And then the next one down, yellow sun. In that pattern of 5 again. The next tribe that I'm going to go to is red moon, which, as I told you, is in the green castle. And red moon is a planetary energy because on the 26th of July, we go into the Mayan New Year. We start Mayan moon 13 moon calendar. So each moon lasts for 28 days. We're in galactic moon at the moment. We're integrating what began on the 26th of July. And Mercury is the planet with red moon. So again, these go in cycles, and Mercury is our god and goddess self. It's wisdom. It's what's coming to light for us and how we get clearer and clearer about our old fears and old processes, and then we can download and stream and connect to higher wisdom with our angelic guidance on board more and more. We stop doing the old patterns and the old paradigms that keep us stuck, and we move into a different space. So red moon there. We then have the next one is white wizard, which is the current 13-day process we're in and the 13-year process we're in. So 2006 to 2018 was red moon. And that's a 52-year process that we're in. And then we have gone into white wizard. So we're refining that now, 2019, the moon goddess. And again, she has the planet of the asteroids. So she is twinned with red serpent as to new consciousness, coming in about how we relate. And so in this 13-year cycle, we're focusing on our disempowerment issues so that we can come into empowerment and we can align with true cycles rather than this man-made cycle, which has come from a religious framework of control. So we have white wizard, and then we have blue storm, And then we have to go up to the next cycle, which is yellow seed. Okay, so the tribe, the planetary transformation tribe, so it's like a planetary Gaia awakening process. And so red moon is authenticity and being the beacon of light, and Mercury, white wizard, is refining how we become more and more powerful in a beautiful, assertive, confident way, releasing any need to be aggressive, because we're moving more and more into creating with the magical goddess energy that's coming in. Then we have Blue Storm, which is the day that we're on today. And Pluto is the dynamic, what needs to die so that we can live. How do we come into our emotional center, which is twinned with yellow sun. And then we have yellow seed, which is the manifestation of the star seed. And the planet is Jupiter, which is twinned with blue eagle. So mastery process. We've got Jupiter in Aries at the moment, which is the same as it was in around 2010, 11. So remember what you were doing back then. It's time for new beginnings. It's time to make a move. I know lots of people who are having this amazing dynamic at the moment. Very, very powerful. So time to go in search of the golden fleece. Jason and the Argonauts set sail at the time of the spring equinox. And just after the spring equinox, Pluto goes into Aquarius, remember, on the 23rd. So very powerful. So in terms of the year that we're going into, it's going to be white resonant world bridger, I think. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Let me just look on my calendar. So we're going into a year 7. Yeah, white resonant world bridger began in 2017, and the new moon in Aries is at 0 degrees, and that's on the 21st, on the spring equinox. Okay, so the next one is Red Skywalker, which is the 13th Mayan sign, and it's the human being who's doing the inner work. So the Quetzalcoatl energy, the feathered serpent, saw snake yesterday as well for the first time here. That was amazing. And right on the pathway where we were at the house. So that was, again, magical Kundalini energy and a sign of the goddess. So again, it's seeing the signs in your holograph every day. And you can Google these and find out the deeper meaning of bird totems, animal totems, flowers, lots of different ways to see what's going on in your holograph. Okay, so this is Mars energy, and so twinned with white world bridger. And the Skywalker is the conscious dreamer who is awakening to how we create. And then we've got white mirror, so seeing the holograph, that's a great indicator how we can work. And this is the Gregorian New Year cycle, is the conscious dreamer code, conscious dreamer tribe. White mirror is Neptune, so that's twinned with red dragon. The sword of truth, so removing those distortions of how we see ourselves reflected back. How were you reflected back as a child? Did it make you feel happy? for most people, they were being reflected back by people who were very much in shadow space. And so it's not the greatest experience. And that sort of defines who we think we are, our self-confidence, our self-esteem. And so it takes a process of healing and transformation. So we start to have a different belief system about our amazing, beautiful selves. Okay, so then we go to blue night, which is the third Mayan sign, and the planet for blue night is Saturn, which is twinned with yellow warrior. So looking at our Saturnian cycle, Saturn is going into Pisces on the 7th of March, and it's going to be my second Saturn return. So it's going to be a very powerful time of connecting to dreams and what we're here to create as a conscious dreamer. And then we have yellow star. And the planet is Venus, which is twinned with blue monkey, being the star that we really are. So knowing our star code, knowing our astrology and our cosmology, our Mayan cosmology. So for example, what cycle are we in? Are we in year 1? Are we in year 13? Very different dynamics can really help make sense of where we are in our life and how to make conscious choices. And then we have red earth. And red earth is a tribe of people that are creating new pathways neurally. So in our brain and our energy, changing that energy in our body so that we can be a very different human being and feel connected and safe on planet Earth. So the planet is Uranus, which is twinned with the next one of that tribe, which is white wind. And that's the new learning on the planet, because that's the second process. How to speak truth from spirit means we have to get clear of any distortions. Then we have blue hand, which is my Mayan sign, which is all about shaping our destiny through healing and learning all of these amazing tools that we can use, and remembering also that we are the tool. We're here to do amazing things, and the most amazing thing is healing and being able to hold and shape destiny in a different way, magical way. And then we have finally yellow human, which is the 12th Mayan sign, and blue hand and yellow human both have planet Earth. What's manifest for us here on planet Earth. As a 12th Mayan sign, resonance around the Philosopher's Stone and getting clear about how our body does not lie. It shows us where the energy is flowing or not flowing. Blue hand is the 7th Mayan sign, which is the mystic, which is what's resonating with our destiny, what feels good in a healthy, natural way. That's the magic. So, as I say, these patterns work in blocks of 5. So we go through the first 5, and then we're at a point. The next 5, then we're at a point. The next 5, then we're at a point, and so on until we reach 20. So we're continually trying to remember segment intending. Somebody spoke about this and had lots of books on it, and I can't remember her name, but it was huge. So if you were a fan of her, I think she's still around, and she did a lot about segments intending. I think she was channeling a particular energy that was giving guidance on how to manifest Abraham, I think it was called. So again, it's getting very focused each day, because we're in a fractal. So each day, the more that we can focus on what we're creating every day, and to make time to do this higher level of work for ourselves, to create a lovely space and to dream, especially now. Sun has gone into Pisces. It's a gateway point. Hidden power. Cards for today. Polarity. The shadow holds the key to set us free. And some amazing cards today, actually. So I got the Emperor. Got that yesterday as well. The Universe. Fortune. Princess of Wands. Having the courage to create our dream. We have to go to lots of places to transform in order to create this dream. And we have to be able to let go of things that are no longer serving us in order to move forward. And sometimes that's difficult because I know often we want to take everything with us. But it's just like when we die and we leave this particular incarnation, we leave everything behind. So now is the time to really focus on learning more new tools to create new beginnings, being willing to look at our addictions, our coping mechanisms, how we don't want to feel our feelings, how we avoid situations. We are the universe. Nobody's coming to rescue us. That's not the time for that dynamic. We are the ones who rescue ourselves. And learning about how the universe works, how to use the Mayan dream spell and use astrology. It's just mind-blowing stuff. And it helps us have faith that there is a greater wisdom that is taking us to a different place, that we are a conscious, dynamic, embodied part of. I'll be doing my next new moon workshop for the new moon in Aries. And so that is on Tuesday, the 21st of March. So if you'd like to join me, please get in touch. If you want to know more about these codes, these patterns, I'm having a very dynamic process happening in my life at the moment. And I am intending to do more workshops to help facilitate people with their process and going deeper on the journey. The more and more people who work on the inner side of themselves and come into a really good, focused, grounded place with our emotions, they can connect, we can connect, more light switching on, more changes in the tapestry that we're weaving now. So lots of love. See you soon, fellow travelers.